How do you know if you have a fatty liver? Today I'll share with you some of the early signs of fatty liver disease. For example, you may get itchy skin, because bile salts are backing up from the liver into your blood, causing irritation. This happens because your liver is fatty and isn't processing bile properly. You might also feel nauseous quite often. Especially after eating a meal that's high in fat content. A fatty liver may not make enough bile, making it hard to digest fats properly, making you feel queasy and uncomfortable.
Tightness or pain in the right shoulder can also occur.
Occurs when bile becomes too thick in the liver, putting pressure on the phrenic nerve. This tightens the muscles in the shoulder and scapula area, and it keeps coming back, even after massaging it. Another sign is having a protruding pot-shaped belly,
which is common in people who have too much fat in the liver.
So it's spreading to the visceral area between the organs, around the midsection. Abdominal fat is linked to insulin resistance, the key cause of fatty liver disease. However, not everyone who has a fatty liver is necessarily overweight. Another sign is having spider veins, which appear as little red dots with spiderweb-like extensions. These broken blood vessels appear when your liver isn't filtering out estrogen properly, causing the little capillaries to dilate and become visible.
People with a fatty liver also feel constantly fatigued and tired.
Insulin resistance makes the liver fatty, and this makes it harder for cells to produce energy.
A fatty liver can also cause white or yellow hard spots around the eyelids.
This happens because cholesterol is backing up into the skin, because it's not being broken down properly in the liver. Cravings for sugar after a meal may also occur. Also occur in people with a fatty liver because of the link with insulin resistance. This is why over 70% of diabetics also have fatty liver disease. Now, if your doctor diagnosed you with an underactive thyroid, this is also linked with liver disease, as thyroid hormones are converted inside the liver. Fat buildup can slow this conversion, causing the thyroid gland to slow down,
causing problems with your entire metabolism.
Another indicator of fatty liver disease is having dry, cracked heels. To keep the skin on your feet healthy and moisturized, your body uses vitamin B3. But if your liver is fatty, it stops converting tryptophan into vitamin B3 properly, and causing the skin to become dry and sometimes cracked. Yellowing in the whites of your eyes or skin is a more serious sign of liver damage.
Usually when the liver has gone beyond the fatty stage into the more serious scarring stage,
and it is no longer filtering the pigment bilirubin properly.
So it leaks into the eyes and skin. Speak to a doctor if you get this.
a fatty liver is also associated with swelling of the ankles and the feet,
as it is not producing albumin properly, a protein that regulates fluid balance. Low albumin levels cause fluid to leak from blood vessels, pooling in feet and ankles. When you press your finger, it may leave a dimple, pitting edema. This again is linked with high blood sugars, insulin resistance, and fatty liver disease. You could also get an orange-toned or pale stool. Caused by bile flow problems, due to the buildup of fat inside the liver.
Or potentially gallbladder sludge, or even gallstones.
People with liver damage also often report brain fog. This again is linked with high blood sugars, insulin resistance, and fatty liver disease. This is because less bile is released from the liver, so we absorb less fatty acids and nutrients. These include omega-3s and vitamin D, needed to support the brain and nervous system. Some people also get purple or red spots on the skin, especially when they have eaten more sugar or carbs than usual. A fatty liver makes less clotting proteins, like fibrinogen and prothrombin, causing a rash on the skin, causing bleeding of the tiny capillaries.
Now you know the symptoms. What is actually causing this fatty liver problem?
Fatty liver disease is the first stage of liver damage, and it can be completely reversed within just a couple of weeks. However, if left unchecked, it can worsen and form scar tissue inside, called fibrosis.
And eventually cirrhosis, which is life-threatening.
It is caused by eating too many refined, processed, or inflammatory foods, which puts a heavy burden on the liver.
Overconsumption of starch is the most common trigger from foods like bread, chips, cereals, biscuits. Also sugar and white rice.
Seed oils like cottonseed, corn, soy, peanut, canola cause inflammation in the liver.
Fear not, the liver can completely regenerate and heal, even when over 70% of it is damaged. I'll now show you how you can reverse fatty liver disease completely. Firstly, clean your liver by giving it a break. Burn off fat with intermittent fasting.
Eat all your food within a 6-hour window daily. Allow your liver to burn off excess fat outside that window.
You can also do 1 day a week where you only eat 1 meal in the evening.
This can clean out a large percentage of liver fat very quickly.
Lower inflammation in the liver by removing seed oils and alcohol as much as possible. Lower your intake of processed carbohydrates. Eat more clean, whole meats, fish, and non-starchy vegetables.
Take a good quality supplement with ox bile or purified bile salts after each meal. This supports bile production. Drinking apple cider vinegar can stabilize blood sugars and reverse insulin resistance, helping the liver burn off stored fat.
For a proper medical diagnosis, request an ultrasound from your doctor.
This video is for educational purposes only.
For more precise steps on how to fully clean out your liver, watch this video on the screen now. Thank you so much for watching. Wishing you great health, wealth, and happiness.